Well, good morning, everyone, or good afternoon, depending on time zones, or evening. Welcome to Flying with Mike. We're sitting in Miami, Florida, at the FedEx ramp, getting ready to load up and head out. Ontario, California is our destination for the day. It's about a 5.5 hour flight, so we're going to get moving with this rather quickly. So we're going to bring Sim Toolkit up here, get the pre-flight done rather quickly, and then move on to getting the plane moving out of here. So without further ado, there's Sim Toolkit. Um, we're sitting on the FedEx ramp as I can zoom down here. This is Sim Toolkit's live map. Excuse me. Um, FedEx Parks, let me kind of zoom out, give you a little lay of the land, those of you familiar with the airport. Your terminals are over here, East Cargo here, Cargo City here, West Cargo Horseshoes down here. UPS Parks way out on the end here, and FedEx right here. And then the rest of this is FBO and maintenance facilities for other airlines. American is the main customer here, pretty much from here all the way down and around, and I think some of this as well. And then the rest of the airlines filter into the others. Anyway, so that gives you a lay of the land. Also, real quick, while we're seeing it, um, I would be remiss in saying this is one of those free things with Sim Toolkit. If you're at an airport, the controller tells you to taxi via, I don't know, Papa Hotel November, uh, you know, uh, to Mike to 26 left. We'll just hypothetically say, well, you can see, well, here's Papa, why we would be coming up this way, going this way, going this way. You can see what you're doing. Also, you can see at some of these airports spot numbers if it's translatable. So, I mean, it turns into a really, I mean, a fully packed product. You'd expect to pay uh, several, probably tens of dollars, 10, 20, 50, possibly even up to 100 on some of these kinds of software. It's all free, folks. The only thing you pay for would be if you have like a NavGraph subscription to update your FMSs and charts. That's what this is. Your weather information here, they have a pretty good one that they use. But if you want to use ActiveSky, and that's the only other one I know that works, you can purchase that for your flying, but you can also integrate it into here for free. So the integration of NavGraph and ActiveSky is free. Otherwise, you pay for it to use it outside of this program. Also, for streamers like myself, there's tools and the logbook, fleet, landing reports, and such. So it is crammed with a lot of great stuff. Some stuff I'm kind of like, I get it. Some guys like that stuff. Me, I just keep it simple, folks. I'm a simple type of pilot. All right, and then also down at the bottom, here's our weather right now as of, actually, this is kind of old. Actually, it's getting ready to be replaced. So it's about an hour old. Winds show calm, 10-mile visibility, clouds at 4,000, ceiling at 25,000. And yes, folks, for those living in the Midwest, it is 22 degrees here, but it's Celsius. So that puts it somewhere up in the 80s, pushing 90. Altimeter 29908. And the rest of that stuff I wouldn't know how to read and understand what it's telling us. So, all right, so let's get right into the pre-flight here. We'll go up to current flight. I said current flight. There it is. Again, we're going to take off from Miami. Now, I know Miami approach is up. They have an ATIS in place. Thank you. They must have been listening to my little slight 10-second rant on controllers that come up and don't give us any information on our end to be able to get our aircraft set up. But anyway, thank to him, he'll say you'll take off on the 2.6s. Calm wind, unless they update that METAR here differently in the next, I don't know, 20 minutes, we're going off 8 right. That's the long runway north side. Ugh. Excuse me, and I do apologize for the yawn. I also want to apologize for almost being an hour late in getting up. Some of that was because I needed to get some stuff for work tomorrow. I got a 24-hour shift again at the airport. And a couple of other things needed to be tidied up before I could come online. And then my wife had a very important phone call that I didn't want to interrupt with the stream. So we're getting into it. We're going to get moving quickly in case something like that pops again. We're at Miami. So it's 9 feet above sea level. 8 right's our runway right now of choice. It's 10,506 feet long and heading of 092. Our loadout for today is in kilograms. They keep telling me it's sparks with this 747. Use kilograms. The conversions don't work yet 100%. So to ease that up, I guess it's as a European consortium of people using this. I'll comply. I've got it set up for both, meaning so I know what I'm loading meets what I want it to load, but it's in kilograms, metrics, to make sure we fly decently. So, so we're going to go with taking 8 passengers with us to Ontario. 4 of those are the crew and the aircraft. Payload 65,035 kilograms. So that's a hearty load for the plane. It's about 100 and, bear with me here, I'll give you the exacts here in a minute. Payload is, oh, that's a bummer. I thought it was right there. Hang on, I'll get it for you. 143,300 pounds ish. So that kind of gives us an idea what, for those of us in the U.S. that aren't using the kilogram system, gives us that idea of what that is. Ramp weight will be 295,507 kilograms, and we'll be putting on 61,021 kilograms of fuel. Cost index for the flight will be 100, and you can see that here as well as here. And then these are our initial cruise. And then out by Fusco, which I'm not 100% sure where in my flight plan that is, will go up to 38,000. So it's going to be embedded in one of these airways. So over in Ontario, from now, we're looking at coming in from the east to the west, which is primary the way they like. It's a 10-mile visibility as well. It's a couple degrees cooler out there, maybe in the 70s, 80s. And 3019, and that's right now, folks. TAF, we're looking at potentially a wind shift. We'll see when we get out there. So flight plan is right here. We're going to do the Winco 2 departure. I don't really like that HITOG 2, so we'll do the WinCo, and only because it encompasses all runways here. HITOG only those going toward that traffic would flow out to the east. So, excuse me, frog has all of a sudden has overcome my throat. All right, so looking at the quick plan here, 2,378 miles by air. And again, we're looking at 61,021 pounds of, kilograms of fuel. Alternate is Los Angeles International. And again, our routing. And in here is the breakdown of times, 5 hours, 34 minutes en route. So we're scheduled 5:30. We'll see. And then the breakdown of the weights. Okay, quick look at the charts for the winds. First off, here is the flight plan. Kind of cutting through the southern part of the U.S. Now, significant weather. We got a jet stream we'll be crossing over as we get to Louisiana. And if memory, I don't know if this map will show it. Let me see. Oh, there's a second half. Okay. There's a turbulence air met out right now for the LA basin up towards San Francisco. So we may get some bumps along the way. But we'll be close to this jet, and this one we actually cross, and we got another one diving down here. 30,000 feet. We're going to be at 36. Well, this kind of gives you an idea. It's as you'd expect. The winds are somewhat zonal from the mid half of the country east. Then we've got winds out of the south. Still kind of zonal, though, where we're flying. And then they'll turn back to a headwind. And that's, kind of what you expect crossing the U.S. Again, you can start seeing what's causing some of this stuff here as we get up to 34. Still not our initial cruise, but you get an idea. And then finally, 39,000. We flatten out again quite a bit to what our 30,000. So, we'll play, hopefully the fuel is good and we'll get her there on time. And if you all like this chart, I really don't know how to read it. Here's obviously the Rocky Mountains and into Ontario. So you can kind of see that same general depiction here. All right, so that's going to wrap us up on this part of the pre-flight. Let's hop back in. So, let's get this show on the road. Hang on a second here. And you can see across the top, that's an overlay from Sim Toolkit. So just so you know. All right, so we're in the cockpit now. We'll do a quick preliminary look at the panel here. So up to the top we go. The circuit breakers are here. We got to make sure they're all checked. And then we move into the utilities left and right, which are right here. Make sure they're on. Standard or standby power's on. Oh, wait a minute, I think I went out of order. So it's utility switches, then your battery switches, which has a guard over it. So you'll click that open, click the switch, and the guard closes on its own. Standby power will go to auto. Now this is where it gets out of whack, the checklist I use. I just continue down. I turn all of the bus ties on and they should show auto. I come down to the gen connects. They're going to show on at the top of the switch, off at the bottom of the switch. When the engines spool up, they'll come on. Then we get down to where it's asking about the hydraulic pump, demand pumps. which are these switches here. Again, same thing. They're going to be on the top, press on the bottom. When we turn them on, they'll be extinguished properly. Switches for now will have the switches themselves setting it off. From here, we're going to now head down to the few things here that we're going to look for. We want to make sure the alternate flap and gear are off. Alternate flaps are here and it's off, and gear is here and it's closed. Gear handle, make sure this is down. The last time we flew this plane, I forget which leg it was up when we came in. So make sure if it's up, you bring it, make sure it's down. Wait a minute. We want to make sure the parking brake's set, which is right here. We also want to make sure the oxygen is checked. We cannot do that here. It does not have that add-on put onto it. That's fine. Emergency lights are up top, windshield wipers are up top, and the rest of this is. So let's go. I'm also going to check the stave cutouts, and all of this is turned off. And flaps are up and showing up. So the display here would light up if they're set at one of these half a dozen or so notches. If it's up, it's up. All right, so back up to the top. Emergency lights are here and they're guarded and closed. Logo light on. Navigation lights on. Only reason they're on is so people know there's power on the plane. May or may not be the APU, but the aircraft's energized. And then they're telling you to do the bus tie and the disconnect switches. Again, bus tie and yeah. Who came up with that one? Oh, the drive disconnects. Okay. Guarded. Okay. Like I said, it's not 100%. Obviously, they need to go back and trim that up at Sparks. Okay, so let's move right into pre-flight. Because there's actually what I want to do. It's going to take some time. We're going to come down. We're going to do we're going to use this one down here. Again, quick tour, ACMS, maintenance, SimConfig allows you to set things. Keep this set to kilograms and that's set as is. It gives you eventually things you'll be able to change. This is where a lot of your stuff in PMDG also is updatable. You can go through the menus and personalize the plane to yourself or to an airline, whatever. Page 2, this does not work, at least for me. Page 3 is the one you're going to want to pay attention to. If you like passenger, switch type to passenger. If you like Pratt's or CF engines, switch the engine. It'll show the rolls. They're not modeled as of yet, or at least I haven't downloaded it yet. Let me put it that way. Continually check the downloads because they do update from time to time. That's something I want to put up here. Hang on a second. All right. And if you go to this website, since our last flight, have they updated something? They may have. Maybe a couple of things may have updated. So for the most part, I should be flying pretty close to the same aircraft. And getting over to here. And here's the link where you can find it. Real quick before we get into pre-flight, let me bring up something here. Okay, we're on the website here real quick, and I just brought it up for us. Um, as you come down, let me just bring it up in a way I can read it better. As you come down this side, it'll tell you when things have been updated. Here's one item that I think may have updated since I flew it last, may not have. But you can just kind of look down here. Now, two versions are sitting right in front of you. What released when you saw X-Plane say that this is out here, or I think FlightSim.com also had a message. They talked about what's called the initial release. That was around the November 13 timeframe. If you click that, that will give you what they have released um, to date. Now, that will have what's called they know about issues. If you go to code and then download zip, it will be the most current version sitting up here with some of those known issues from the initial release fixed and other issues that have cropped up. Plus, hang on a second. You're not seeing this if I do it that way. Hang on just a second. All right, so that'll give you this. This is not in the initial release. Just so you know, it could be. I haven't downloaded it. So that gives you the difference between the two. All righty. Hang on just a second. Sorry, we're getting a repair guy to the house to look at something. Um, so anyway, that gives you an idea what that link is that I put in the chat there, what you're looking for, and how to use it here with the aircraft. So anyway, that gives you that. Then you click save and it saves it. You'll get the Pratt sound. You'll get the what a Pratt and Whitney in this situation sounds like. CF, you know what I'm getting at. So let's go back to main menu and let's go back up here and let's get into this pre-flight. All right, now the pre-flight starts by us clicking the IRS into nav. Okay, and then we're just going to kind of follow this through. I don't have the checklist to bring up for you to see, so I'll point them out as we're going. So we're going EEC push buttons should be normal, and they show norm and guarded. Fire protection, that's out of sync on the flow check. They're good. Interrupt switches on, passenger oxygen normal. Sometimes I really wonder what the heck they're doing. Flight deck lights, we're all over this panel. We're going to go the way I know. So we're going to get our navs on, check our switches here. We're on external power, coming down through it. Okay, we did our fire check. Emergency lights are good, on and guarded. All that is just the lights down the rows so people know how to get to the doors. OBS audio is normal. Service interphone is off. Fuel's off. We're going to do auto start. Cross feeds are good. And we'll get our pumps once we're filled up. Let's see here. Anti-ice stays off till we start taxiing. Window heat's on right now. And our cockpit lighting, which is right here, is set. Lights are off for landing and taxi. And our yaw dampers are on. Passenger oxygen is set. Yeah, this checklist, I'll have to go through and work on it. Air conditioning is set. Trim air upper recircs are on. Equip high flow. Packs are at normal. Isolations are on. And bleeds are on. Engines only right now. Okay, again, nav lights and logo lights are on. In the middle, we don't touch anything right now. We've got 7 minutes on the alignment. Hang on a second. Just moving those up a little bit. And coming down to the bottom here real quick. Radio frequencies are good. Transponders 2000 and on standby. We got the signs on. It's a cargo plane. It doesn't really matter. So we're going to go over and get the FMC starting to align. So we'll go to the pilot, and then we're going to hit this. Now that's, to me, the wrong way to do this. I'm not a real 747 pilot, so I don't know what's real, what's not, what's right, what's wrong. So, well, but we will click ident. We're going to zoom in, realign this just a tad bit here. There we go. A little easier for us all to read. Okay, so the correct 747, correct engine. Nav data is still active till the 28th. And we can go here. This is something that may be incorrect in the initial release. The numbers are going to be about right, but the lettering will be off. They'll actually be switched. So, and actually even off then. So, just so you know, that was one of the big things they were just able to fix here not too long ago. Okay, so we'll drop down. Okay. These will fill in once they align. Okay, so we'll come over here. Now, unfortunately, those of you that like the 737, I just had a interesting, hang on a second here. Okay, I am right. I just totally had a dump on what was Miami's letters. MAI or MIA? It's MIA. KONT, however, for Ontario. Flight number today is just going to be FDX811. And then we'll go to the departure page. We are going to go 8 right. Actually, before I do anything. And we are finally now showing 3 2s. We're going to cancel. And we're going to go with 2-6 left. And sticking with Winco. You'll see what I mean here when we do the brief. Execute flight plan. And next. Okay, so off Winco. Hang on a second. It's a pretty simple flight plan. And this time we're going to try to put in just the airways like we do on some of them. I like closing them off, getting the next one. Just waiting on a program to fire up. In the meantime, we'll get the next fix in, which is BAGS, BAGGS. Actually, what I can do, hang on a second here. And okay, we got Sim Toolkit up for you, so you can kind of follow along. The area you're watching for is right here. So we're going to BAGS, then onto the Q102. Okay. From there, I'm going to go ahead and close it. It doesn't take any longer LEV. Believe me, I used to do this with version 2s of PMDG 747 on flights from Hong Kong to, say, Frankfurt or uh, Paris or Amsterdam, and there's like 100 million fixes, it seems, or 100 million airways to open and close. Yeah, it doesn't really take that long. So from LEV, we're going on to the J86, which will close at JCT, Juliet Charlie Tango. From there, we'll jump on the Juliet 15. We're going to take that to Inc. India, November, Kilo. Okay, Juliet 4. Juliet 4 to Echo Whiskey Mike. Whiskey Mike. Next page. J184. Taking us to SATRN. And direct, that'll be Papa Hotel Romeo Echo Delta. Execute. And that's one thing I don't like. Okay, so there we go. We've got all that in now. We got the runway in, although it's not showing. Why not? Very interesting. When I go here, I should see the runway. Huh. Okay, well, let's see if that becomes a problem. Right now, we're pretty well stopped. So what we're going to do here is come back to there. Let me make sure. Hang on. Active, active. Okay. All right, so hang on just a second. I'll be right back with y'all. Okay, folks, sorry about that. All right, so we're going to move down to the other panel here, clear this out, and we're going to go to ground handling. And we're going to do the loading of the cargo now. It's going to look, I know your guy's going to say, you made it a freighter. Why does this say passenger? Well, that's what it is. So it is what it is, and we'll run with it as we got it. Hang on a second here. I'm going to switch that so you all can see the load. We're going for a payload, though, of 65,035 kilos, which will show here as 65.0. Okay, so I'm just going to put most of this on the main deck because I don't know how the kilos will break down. You can see it growing here. 104 132. All right, so now we're about, so we need about 15,000 kilos in the bottom. So we'll go 15, 75. So we'll put, here's what we'll do. We'll put 7. 7. All right, and we need, hang on, I got to look at the chart here real quick. 65, okay, so 65 minus 1.1. So we'll put 1,100. Whoop, whoop, missed it. See if that puts us right on it. Okay. Okay, so we're going to come back here. Now, another tip for y'all out there with this aircraft that they told me you may want to do. Let's go to ground service. We got to bring this number. We're going to actually come up a little bit so you can kind of get the whole picture here. Well, let's do it this way. Okay, we're at 111.5 Honda kilos. I think that's a standard load that they do. We only need 61,000 kilos. So here's what they're always recommending. Go to your flight, edit weight and balance, take that total fuel weight and zero it out. Done. Apply changes. That's what I was waiting for it to do. And, oh, why did it do that? Usually what'll happen sometimes in the loading, it'll turn to where you have to get the external power put on. This time it doesn't. I love it. Okay, so all we got to do now, let's take a look. Now we're showing 0. I want to make sure that says kilograms, and it does. Okay, so all we have to do now is put 61. Again, reading it, it's 60. It's this number times 1,000. So 61. Put that in there. We're on ground power. It's almost instantaneously loaded. So what we're going to do real quick is click request ground service.
Okay, service trucks coming.
Here they come. And we're going to pop outside the plane. There goes a fuel truck. And let's see I think he's going to end up at the plane. Yeah, he's coming to the plane. Now, whether he goes up or down, I don't remember. We're going to find out. Catering trucks are on the way. We can't open the door. And now we're already being filled. Okay, let's go to the other side. We'll pop up. I haven't seen the catering trucks may take, because I don't know where they come from. But they'll show up too. And then there'll be a baggage cart, and there'll also be a electrical cart. So I don't know where all of that comes from. Just kind of circling around looking for them. Oh well, we're not going to worry about it. All right, but anyway, like I said, some neat cheesy things. We're just about loaded with fuel.
All right, I got the service request.
I just want to make sure we have the right amount of fuel. Oh boy, let me make sure. All these little cars zipping around. It's always fun to watch. Okay, so All right, so let's continue on to our performance. $249.6. Let's make sure we're close. Not even. I wonder why. I know they have some things going on here. So 6.9. So we're going to go 2424 is 8 point or 4.8. 11.7. Okay. Cost index 100. Cruise altitude 360. Step climb will be 2,000 foot increments. Thrust slip. All right, now for this, I'm just doing a quick build up here so I can get that information for you. I'm also getting the landing information. What I'm doing is with Professional Flight Planner offline here, getting that up and going. There it goes. Update the performance data. So currently we're going to plan TO2 and 55. And I just want to back that up with another program. 5074, close enough. 1C now. Oh, that's different. Hang on. 300. So we're at 3. Okay, so as of the top of the hour, 320 at 6. 10-mile visibility, few clouds of 4,000, broken at 25,000. So the weather did change, and that's why we're using the other runway. Sim Toolkit actually goes with the longest. We're going with the one closest to us. All right, and those are all set. Bear well, okay, flaps 10, TO1. That's different than I think what PFP did. Yes, okay. All right, so we're going to go flaps 20. We're going to go with that data. That would have been TO2. Flaps 20. Whoa, glad I did this. We're going to rely on TopCat. All right, so we're going to go TO2, so we'll select that one. They're calling 43. Okay, and we'll do a climb 1, takeoff. Don't get another page. Flaps 20. Now, for the speeds, this I don't like because they don't change, but they're there. V rotate is 144. V ref is 154. CG 15. I think that's way off trim, showing 0. All right, so hang on a second, folks. Sorry for that. Had a frog again decide to invade my throat. So here you go. Normally this page will also show you your fuel. For some reason not here. I'm not sure if that's planned or not. But anyway, we're looking good here. Takeoff information. All right. This do not read. We have it set for 139 V1. Rotate at 144. Climb out 154. So, and we are good to go. Everything's updating. Winds keep wanting. The weather keeps really driving me batty with professional flight planner. Okay, so now with this data, we come up to here, get our auto throttle on, flight directors, excuse me, on. There's our V2. Now we want to just make it, whoop, not that many. I just do V2 plus 10. I like a little bit more speed. So, and 92 degrees. All right, so we want to make sure that little notch on the switch is showing at auto. And then finally, 36,000 here. Of course, we'll adjust if we have specific altitudes we have to reach. Okay, and good. And our altimeter, 29908, 29908. Okay, and finally, let's get our decision altitude put in. I usually like to go with 100. Come on. I hate this thing. I really do. Okay. Now for the barrow, first off, switch it over. What I'm going to do is go 400 feet above this. Wrong direction. Same thing on this side. Okay, so we've got everything set for takeoff on the FMC, automatic flight directors, and EFIS. Okay, so we'll continue on now with the checklist. So at this point, the aircraft is pretty much ready to go. Just a few more items to take a look at. Okay, so continuing on, MCP is set hydraulics. Now they say, and I don't know who they is that came up with this goes to auto. Fuel pumps, they're going to stay off until we're ready to turn the APU on. Cross feeds 1 and 4 open. They are for now. We'll see. Let me see how this broke down in the loadout here. Fuel. Okay, so we won't be using center tanks, and we'll use all tanks until we're pretty close to the 13.6 numbers here. Then we'll turn them off. We'll go to tank to engine then. All right, audio systems are normal. Interphone switch off, voice recorder checked, anti-ice system off. This is all over that middle panel. You went from audio system normal, interphone, which happens to be right next to it, down to the anti-ice, and window heat. Then, I mean, they really need to look at the panel before they type. So now we're coming down the right side. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, we started here, then went up, and then back down. It's a very simple, you start here, you work your way down. We've already done a lot of these checks. Yaw dampers are on, outflow valves are set and open. Air conditioning is set to auto. Trim air, upper recircs are set. We don't need the F cargo heat in 22 degrees Celsius weather. Trim air recirc high flow is on. ECS switch. Why have I got a feeling that is nowhere near this thing? Anyway, I don't even see it. Packs 1, 2, and 3 are on. I've got them all on right now. When we start up, we'll switch them down. Isolation valves open, bleed air's on. EFIS panel is set, displays are set, standby instruments are set. Okay, so the speed brake lever is down. Thrust closed. Make sure of that, folks. Sometimes you'll find that. Fuel controls are in cutoff. Radios are set. Passenger signs set when refueling is complete. And we're not doing anything with the auto brakes or the door because it's a freighter. All right, so folks, we've accomplished preliminary and pre-flight checks. We're ready to do the oops, go ahead and close our door. We'll do a quick look around the plane real quick. Everything's buttoned up. All right, so let's get into the before start checklist. All right, folks, now at this point, we are ready to bring the plane into the air. It's been about an hour we've been online. It's a 5.5 hour trip, so here we go. Okie doke, here we go, folks. Before start checklist starts with the APU. Make sure you turn fuel pumps on. These seem to turn on when you do it, so I just go ahead and turn them on. Brake pressure should be normal. Fuel quantity check pounds or kilograms. And make sure you have your shipping papers on board. Yeah, that's always a good thing. Okay, we got 60.9. We're good there. Performance data checked and set. And again, folks, for your, we are going to go 139 on V1. That speed's the one where if something happens with an engine, we can abort safely and not run off the end of the runway. If we lose one, if we lose two after that speed, then it's captain's call. Anyway, that's V1, 139. Rotate, that's when we're going to try to lift the nose up at 144. Climb out at V2 is 154 knots, and that's what speed will get us to 50 feet above the end of the runway, any obstructions out there so that we can clear them. And then we're going to climb out at 164 on the initial, and we're going to get into the departure brief right now. As soon as we go on the gens, bring the APU bleed on. Let's do the departure brief. Why don't we? All right, there's Sim Toolkit. Actually, I may have to put this flight in here. Oops, I did not put any of this information in here. I do apologize, so bear with me 1 second. Um, and those of you with charts know what I'm doing with the nav graph charts. Okay. Finally, I'm going to go ahead and load us up for Ontario real quick. Okay, so what we're going to do, first off, we're parked here again at FedEx. We're going to be taxiing all the way down and on to runway 26 left for our departure. Here's the frequency strip across the top. Uh, right now, we're not going to be on ATC. Um, just makes it so much easier. Next up is the Winco 2 departure. Now this we're going to zoom just so you all can get a good read on it. The instructions for the 26s, we're going to fly 272. I need to make a change in my flight plan, I just realized. 272 to 520 feet. We're going to do a right turn to OFO. From OFO, then depicted up to Winco. Um, again, we're 9 feet above, 18 thousandths transition. So let's take a look at this. Here's 520 feet, OFO, Morley, Megan, out to Winco. No altitude restrictions whatsoever. So we can do a direct climb all the way up. Okay, folks, that pretty much wraps it up. The only other thing I have to do here is put this in and get back to the plane. Okay, now in the lower right-hand corner real quick before we get going, that's our Discord channel, folks. If you want to join our community we're trying to slowly build, um, click on that and that'll take you right over. And we are ready to continue with the before start checklist. And we're just doing one last check. Miami to Ontario. That's us. Okay. All right, so let's continue on here. So, brake pressures, you'll find that right here. We're going to also go ahead, click hydraulics. These will come alive once we turn them on. Um, Stabilizer trim. Let's bring it up to the green. We'll work from there. Okay. Aileron auto start is on. Recall crew briefing complete. We'll do the engine start checklist. Well, actually, we're going to go ahead and call for the pushback. Remember, Mike, we're going the other way.
Ground to cockpit, plan acknowledged. Call me through the menu when you are ready. Ground to cockpit, tow is driving up.
Sorry about that. There's our tug. All right, so the engine start is. Hang on. Oh, some days are just make you wonder. So what we're going to basically be doing, let me just show you. We're in an auto start. Fuel pumps are coming on. And these can go to auto.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed, ready to connect.
Okay, fuel pumps are on, quantity shipped, and we are good to go. So basically, as I was saying, we're on an auto start, so we're going to pull the engines we're going to use, like 2 and 3 first, then come down to here, 2 and 3 here, and get going. All right, so we'll go ahead and turn this on, our transponder, leaving the auto brakes. Actually, I'm going to go to W, only because it'll give us a wider view here.
So connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
All right, folks, we're pushing back.
Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
There we go. So what we're going to do, 2 and 3, they're what we call now armed. They're not doing anything right now. Then we'll come down to here. And as you can see, nothing's going on here. And now they start turning. Bringing that up just so we can hear it. See if we hear them. Okay. We're going to go up here and we're going to arm the 1 and 4 and kind of wait for them to stabilize. They are. Okay, and they have lit off and they are beginning to stabilize.
Operation complete. Set parking brake. Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
And while he's doing that, if you don't mind, I'm just going to move this down so it's not as loud in my ears. Okay. All right, folks, so the engines are now started. So let me move down to the second page here, the after start, and also I always hate trying to find these guys. Okay, so before, after start, so we'll hold on this for now. We'll head up top. Ignition to continuous. APU can now be turned off.
Tow is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal will be on the left. We'll see you next time. Have a safe flight.
Okay, and the packs are normal. I never turned them off. Hydraulic demand pumps to auto. Anti-ice system, we won't, well, we'll go with the, just because there is weather in the area. We'll do a recall and a flight control check. And we're ready to taxi. Okay, so we're going to go to 2, kind of spin down here to the stat page. You're going to see the APU is right now in what's called a cool down. If you're on the 777, it'll say it up here. I don't know if it will here. But anyway, we're going to go left with the aileron, right with the aileron. And you can see them moving here. Right here. Sorry about that. I'm pointing with my finger and you all can't see where I'm pointing to. Elevator. Up. Down. Up. If you do this right, folks, you'll sound like an aerobics instructor. Rudders. To the left. To the right. Oops, to the right. To the left. See? Sound just like an aerobics instructor. Okay, and finally flaps. We're gonna one side over, spin down, flaps 20. Flaps 20. All right, so, and taxi light, landing lights do not come on now, guys. Come on, get your priorities right. And let me make sure the wing light's on. Okay. Remember how I told you those will fill in when we fire up on the hydraulic pumps? They're just not modeled. But yeah, your panel's looking good. ESS, these are being worked on. Electrical looks good. Wheels look good. We've already seen the fuel. Here we go. And let's go to taxi. So that means we got to first pull off that. The MCP is set, clock set, transponders transponding on the TR T8RA, do a recall, and let the flight attendants know to take your seats for departure. All right, here we go, folks. A little bit of a taxi, so if you need to take a break, now is a good time to do that. We'll come back to you as we reach the end of the runway. And again, don't forget, Sim Toolkit has that ability on the live map. If you zoom it down, you'll be able to see where you are on the airfield. But we'll see you at the end of runway 26 left for the takeoff. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're getting to the end of the runway here. Just got a little ways to go. Just pointing out some things here while we were taxiing on the live stream on Twitch. Centurions behind me, or Skylease, whatever it's called these days. And then this big cargo area here is called the East Cargo area. Little trick Atlanta started was this taxiway that goes around the runway. It does seem to help speed traffic up and they don't get delays. Less delays come out that way, which is actually a good idea. Kind of like what they're doing. And Miami seems to have picked up on it. I think a couple of other airports in the U.S. have as well. All right, so we're right now making the turn for the runway. We'll do our final checks here real quick and then take the runway. Now, if there's an airplane in the gate, a good chance that's actually a developer that put that on. May or may not be live ATC. But all the other tags you see in the air, those are live ATC. All right, we're at the hold short line for 26. See if we're going to stay put. Okay. So, before takeoff again, MCP is set. Actually, no, it's not. 272. Okay, so we got the MCP set. We're cleared to 36,000 and we're good to go. I'm going to leave Sim Toolkit off right now, mainly so you can get an idea of everything that's going on here. We're going to go ahead and take the runway, but first we got to announce intentions. Miami traffic, FedEx 811, lining up and waiting, runway 26 left. Hopefully I don't see anyone. Nope. It's pretty congested here. And not yet. We got to pass it first. Remember, you're 30 feet up, so you got to go past it a little bit and then start making your turn. Keep the power in a little bit. And get lined up. takeoff checks. Okay, after positive rate, just so you know, gear up, flaps up, on schedule. Auto brakes will go off and we'll engage the autopilot.
Coast Guard helicopter 6584 Miami traffic. East of the Miami VOR, going north, and we'll stay west of the VOR the entire time.
Okay, so we got a Coast Guard guy playing with his helicopter out there. Okay. All right, Miami traffic, FedEx 811 departing runway 26 left. Winco 2 departure. Landing lights. Timer. Here we go. Let's bring it up to 60. Which again is going to be right under your wing heats. A little bit more. Okay, we're stable. Brakes off. See if I can push the togas. Not there. Okay. Toga. And yes, folks, that will happen with live ATC, because again, they're not AI, they're not going to go around. They're just what the real world is showing on FlightAware. So N1Y just landed on this runway, Miami. And we get to do the same thing to him, too. There's V1. Rotate. Positive rate of climb. Gear up. Okay. $520 feet, we go direct. We don't have to go abrupt on these turns, folks. Just enough to get it in that direction. I'm going to go ahead and turn the autopilot on. Gosh. You know, sometimes this is the thing of X-plane I hate. Okay, gears up. Down here, turn the auto brakes are already off. Good. 4. Okay, so we're climbing out. And take a look at something here. Okay, and now I'm gonna same thing over here, and then I'm gonna get rid of them. Okay. Yeah, we're quiet because a lot of things, of course, we're still learning on this bird. Now she's starting to do her thing. Okay, so we're at flaps 5, 7,500 feet. And we're going to flaps 1. Ten 10,000 feet is coming. So let's go ahead, get the lights off. All right.
SHUTDOWN 4290, reporting 744.
See if we can get her to build up some speed here. I'm gonna get over to this side. Alright, there we go. I don't know why it doesn't take it the way I typed it, as you saw. Okay, we just crossed Morrill. We're direct now Megan. Always make sure you're on auto here, because as you can see, this thing likes to go around a lot. Now, once you start getting into cruise, we can then maybe 25 max at 20 for comfort for passengers. Should mindfully do that. We'll see. I hate this that I can't click on them and see better. Okay. And then when my laptop decides to go to sleep, it always makes me wonder, did I forget something on the screen? So I'm always glad to see that I did. Alright folks, taking a look through the chat. I see some people coming in and coming out. Feel free to say hi, follow the channel if you want to find out where we're flying next. A couple days coming off this upcoming weekend. We're not flying, obviously. Well, we're not streaming, obviously, tomorrow because I got to work 24 hours. And Sunday right now has nothing planned. Monday, I haven't decided yet if we're going to come on or not, but we'll decide that here shortly. But yeah, to find out, the easiest way to find out, folks, is to follow the channel, and then you'll know where Mike is flying to when I go airborne, when I go online. To get a better read of when I'm going to come online, our Twitch channel is kept up to date, our Facebook channel as well, and our Discord channel. And again, to get to our Discord channel and join our community, lower right hand corner, we're trying to find like-minded people that just love to fly. Love to have y'all join us out here. Just getting my Fat Spy set up so I can track a little better and make sure I don't miss ATC. But let's go through the full after takeoff checklist now. So hang on a second here. Okay, the after takeoff checklist and climb goes like this. Positive rate of climb, which we had, gear up, and then we move the lever to off. Just so you know, that does work here. You actually physically pull it up and down. Flaps come up on schedule, and that's shown on your speed tape right here. Auto brakes we can turn off. That's down here. Pressurization we monitor. Autopilot is on. And at 10,000 feet, the landing lights come off. And as we crossed 18,000, we can actually push standard and standard on our barometric pressures. That way we're at 2,992. And then we just turn our ignition off from continuous, and away we go to cruise. All right, folks, so we are set to go. I'm going to go ahead and kill the wing light as well. We'll join you as we reach, well, we'll see you as we reach cruise, and along the way, we'll kind of sit on the side here, let you all hear. I'm going to try and adjust the sound levels as well, so we don't have that air rushing in. I want to make sure it all sounds right. So enjoy the flight, and we're going to put on some music now to help with the transition. Y'all have a great day. Like I said, if you have any questions, anything you want to talk about, hit me in the chat or over on the live streams portion of our Discord channel. For now, we're just going to be on the side as we climb to cruise. Okay, and for those on the stream, we just now hit where we need to go tank to engine. Let me show what that looks like real quick here. And then we're going to execute. So you see they're at 13.6, 13. So actually what I want to do is we're going to, first off, we got to kill the overrides. The goal in landing this plane is you really want less weight out on the tips than on the than towards the center. And since the piping isn't showing that it'll do it, what I'm going to do is just go into tank to engine. So right now, all engines, so each engine is feeding from their tanks. So the tank that feeds engine 1 is feeding engine 1 and so forth down the line. When they're in normal long range or normal range when the setup allows, just follow the green lines, folks. When this override pump is turned on, it's going to feed the whole pipeline here. So this engine's feeding this, or this tank is feeding this engine, vice versa, so forth. So for now, we're off of each engine to each tank. This isn't 100% correct. I should, with these cross-feed valves open, this piping should be open, but it's not showing it. And I really don't want to test it. Okay, now to get these to turn off, we're going to go into full tank the engine. So we'll just turn the cross feeds off. And now you see for sure that the piping wouldn't be. With these all on, that pipe should be active. So some things they still have to work on, and that may be a limitation with X-Plane until they get SDK worked out. And we're right now at 34,000. But anyway, I just wanted to point that out, what that was all about. We can turn the passenger signs off. I'm high enough up, safe enough to say we're fine. We'll go to auto. So, and if anyone out there, this music's overpowering, please let me know. We'll turn it down even more than what we are right now. But for now, let's continue on into cruise. And I'm just going to be monitoring our climb here. We're almost there. I'll stay on with you till we get to cruise and set. Want to check yet again one thing on some brief. Okay. She's almost there, so. Ladies and gentlemen, I've turned the fasten seatbelt sign off. You're free to move about the cabin. However, we ask that if you're seated to keep that seatbelt going. There are times we'll hit turbulence that we're not able to avoid or don't know of, and that could cause an injury. So if you're seated, please keep that seatbelt fastened. Enjoy the fine service that our flight attendants will be providing, and we should be there in about 4.5 hours. You all have a great day, and we'll be talking to you from the flight deck here a little later in the flight. And for now, thanks for flying with Mike. All right, folks, and we're back off mute. We've never left the chat room there, so feel free to chat away. Alright, so what I'm going to go ahead and do here, folks, I'm going to go ahead and get my arrival set up here. We're only 400 miles from a top of descent. So this is going to take just a few seconds here. While we're doing that, I am going to go ahead and there's our sim toolkit. Should be coming up on the sim here, so our screen here soon. Let's I don't know why I clicked. Oh yeah, I did. Weather currently is 280 at 5. $10 miles and pretty much clear skies as we've had the whole trip. Wow. So let's let's get this set up. 26 left approach. Okay, what I'm gonna do, we'll just go ahead and do the arrival brief, even though we're quite a ways from where I would like to normally do it. So hang on a second here. I'm gonna go ahead and just bring up Sim Toolkit. All right, so it's up here now with the Scooby 2 arrival. We're coming in from Fred, P-H-R-E-D. And there's our routing all the way in to Scooby. And then from Scooby, we'll come up here to KMIA and TAKEOFF, where we'll then join our respective ILSs. So for the directions here, first off, if we come back on, I doubt we will. ATC is on and Los Angeles isn't going to go down for the night. It's ATIS 124.25. The airport elevation for Ontario, which like I said is only about 50 or so miles away from Los Angeles International. Could be as much as 80, but anyway, you get the point. It's right there. 944 feet above sea level. Transition, like all U.S. and North American airports, 18,000 feet. For 26 left, we're going to go. Let's go to Scooby. You can see our altitude restrictions all the way in here. Now from Scooby, S-C-B-B-Y, I call it Scooby, track 281 to Starks, then 281 to Katy, 273 to Kali, then 272 to TAKEOFF. Expect your assigned instrument approach or vectors to your final approach course at KDOR. The key on this approach is, I'll just go through them real quick. VLLMA, we got to be between 28 and 24. Due, flight level 210, we have to be above that. However, we have to be below 20,000 by Zoink. These crack me up. IMSTRI, between flight level 1900 or 19s, between flight level 19,000 and 16,000. And working our way down to where we're above 4,300 feet by TAKEOFF and 210. A lot to go there, folks. A lot to check when we start doing our inputting and all of this in. Once we're there, our assigned approach will be 26 left. Here's the frequency bar at the top. Okay, so for this approach, our localizer is the India Tango Whiskey Oscar. That's the identifier for it. 111 .35. Final approach course is 258. Now by TESRI, which is 7.8 DME, we have to be at 2,900 feet and on the glide slope by that point. We'll see how that works out. We've been having some issues with the ILSs here. So we'll see, but thankfully decent weather, we won't have to worry. Again, airport elevation 944. Touchdown zone for 26 left is 926. So you can see there's some sloping, little bit of sloping here that we'll deal with. Track will be TAKEOFF to Uke. TESRI, again, we're on the glide slope by here. Bakes, and then our 1.8 inner marker. And then it gives the recommended altitudes. Now, if we have to go missed approach, we'll climb to 2,200 feet, then execute a left turn and continue climbing to 4,000. Direct Paradise VOR, Papa Delta Zulu, where we will enter the hold. And to enter that hold, we'll come in, do a teardrop, come out, teardrop back in to enter the hold. And then we'll go on with whatever ATC says from there. Glide path is 3.0 degrees, and expect Malzer for the approach lights. I don't think we're going to have approach lights. And Pappy's on the left of 26 right. Let's see where they are for us down here. Here's our descent planning. Yuck. 3,600 feet, 2,900 feet. You can kind of see if we come in from the glide slope. And our side, we actually have the ALSIF, so we have a full lighting array. Pappy's will be on the right side. That was warning us of what the runways are close here, so that's what the warning was about. So we'll make sure we have everything right. And here's the depiction again of our missed approach. And minimums for this 200 and basically we can come down to 200.5 miles. So if we have 200 feet and a half mile of visibility, we're good to go. Okay, hopefully we don't execute a circle to land because it's not authorized. Finally, just to give you a layout of the land here, the reason they were telling us this, as we come in, this will be the runway we're coming in on. They were telling us that there's a Malzer, so that'll help us to know we're on the right side. And our Pappies will be here. Theirs will be, so you gotta watch that. And then once we're on the ground, we'll be heading to FedEx, which should be right here. I don't know why they call it General Aviation. Because this is UPS down here. Okay, I am going to have to take a look. But anyway, okay, and according to this, we're prohibited on turns. Oh, that's weird. Okay, we are 747, so larger aircraft on taxiway Sierra, which we'll have to use, prohibited from northbound turns. Oh, okay, because of how tight they are. ultimately, though, okay, well, we'll abide by that same thing here with Kilo and see if we have anything else. Okay, I don't see any other restrictions for us, but I will get into this right now and find out if FedEx still parking them down here or if they're now up in here. Because things could have changed since the last time I've been here, which probably been a good year, year and a half of flying into here. So, but anyway, there you go. There's our arrival brief. Again, let me go over the winds. As of 21:53, which is about 20 minutes ago, 280 at 5, 10-mile visibility. We'll double check as we get in closer. 26,000 on the ceiling. Temperature now 31 degrees Celsius, so it's on the toasty side. And altimeter is 3008. So, and then looking at our live map, see how we're doing. For those of you know the areas out here, let me give you one of the map styles. Sometimes I pull this up so people can go, hey, now I know where you are, because you can see the road map. Two runs with the truck. I took I-10, one of the longest states in the world, Texas. Oh my goodness, 1,100 miles to cross. Came up to Las Cruces, came around to Phoenix, and into LA that way. So anyway, gives you an idea, folks. That's another way to look at this. A lot of times I leave it on the satellite so you can get, like when we were up about a week or two ago flying into Paro in Bhutan. Gives you an idea of the intensity of the Himalayas, how big and what the dozen or two pilots that fly it encounter. And we're going to go back to that. Okay, this is just nothing but blah desert, little high desert country. All right, so to the FMC now. So here we go, folks. We are 25 miles from top descent. Let's go ahead, set in 20,000. Run the descent checklist. And start it up. Okay, so for the descent checklist, okay, passenger signs. Okay, silly, it's a cargo plane, but we're following it. Pressurization check, descent check, announced, recall, set auto brakes, we'll go to 3. And approach briefing has been completed. And at transition altitude, we'll set the ignition to continuous. 10 miles out. So let's get up top real quick. Pressurization is all set and good. Make sure I don't miss anything. A recall needs to be done. Okay, and here we go. And we are now starting our descent to 20,000 feet. All right, that's good. It's at least compensating. Here comes some speed brake time. Okay, 24,000. I think we might make it now at this rate. All right, folks, so we are beginning to come through the pass here. I believe that's I-10 right below us. And you're tracking our way in. And I'll be turning this off right around Scooby so that way you can see it all. Why are we turning? Okay, we're fine so long as we're, it gets nerve-wracking. But as long as we're above 15,000 and above 11,000, we're good. So this fix is 15,000. This one we got to be above 11,000. Once we cross the next one, we'll set for 11,000. Okay. Let's enter our landing data. Landing data for this flight will be okay, so approach will be 146, VREF will be 141. Looks pretty close here. This page isn't working well. All right, so I don't see it on the speed tape. They're showing 148, 153. Okay, we're very close on fuel. 11.1. That's what we said. So, All right, so here comes D-Way. We're below 14,000, which puts us back on track. Scooby, we have to be below 11,000. And that's what we're going to set next as soon as Scooby comes alive. So 9,300 feet now. All right, now we do need to slow down. Like I said, I'll manage that. That's easy. And then I'm going to go ahead and tighten this up just to make it a little, we'll go with 40, a little less cluttered. Data still doesn't come on okay. Okay, we're within the parameters there. Then it's above 79, above 6, above 5. Actually, I'm going for 5. Okay, now we've been flying 5 hours, streaming 6.5 hours. 10,000 feet, and spoilers are coming off. Okay, they're on, set. We're going to continuous, and it didn't tell us. Okay, so we're set. Oh, we're really doing good now. All right, so now we're set up to drop to 5,000. Well, 79, I believe, is the first one. To not go below, and then 6,000, 5,000. And 5,000, yeah, Kayla is 220 knots. So we are very close, folks. Now I will drop to a little shorter range, and all right, here we go, folks. Okay, so we're going to kill the music for now. And I'm also going to bring Sim Toolkit off here. Whoop, hang on. I was afraid of that. It's wanting to climb. Okay, the localizer. Okay, we're going to begin slowing here. I'm not really overly worried it is VFR, so if we have to, we'll land it on our own. .111.35. Okay, that is the right frequency. Okay. Really paying attention here because in Miami we had trouble getting onto the localizer. We went way off. Okay, we're going to go ahead and knock the first layer of flaps in. First two are down to 5 degrees. Really shouldn't be using spoilers with flaps. Okay, we're at 5,000. We're going to try this. Going to runways in sight, actually. .12 miles. We'll go ahead and drag with the gear. I hate this. Freaked me out once and it did it again. Glide slope meet. Okay. And that was needed to be done by Tesla. We're on glide slope, but it says it can do a land 3. Okay, slowing to 160. You know what else I forgot? Landing lights. Okay. Landing checklist. Sorry for the cough. Flaps coming down. Gears down and green. Speed brakes we need to arm. Okay. Like I said, I am going to be taking the airplane here. Although I'm have to now. Yeah, I do, because I want to start shooting these kind of approaches again. Well, it's our plane. And flaps are full. Okay. Boy, what a slightly deceiving look here. those pappies side by side. Okay, by FAA standards, you would be doing a missed approach right now. One dot, either way, up, down, right, left is a missed approach. Flight Sim World, we push. Because I really don't want to do a go around. Okay. Another tip again, folks. Power up and down. Rudders left and right when you're in tight like this. Oh, we're getting really high. And I try to go no more than 40 on reverse thrust and back to idle. Oh, and I don't like the brakes on this X-plane. Okay, we're going to clear the runway. And we're just going to head for parking. All right, let's do our after landing checklist. Landing lights off. 1, 2, 3, 4. Strobes off. Flaps up. Okay, whoops, all the way. Okay. Stave trim set, MCP reset, EFIS reset, transponder to standby. Auto brakes off, APU start. Fuel pumps are on. Okay, APU is coming on. Turn off the anti-ice. And then we'll get this set up for securing the plane here next. And let's get down here and bring it into the spot. And again, I'm going to cheat. And one more time, I'm going to turn taxi lights off. Alright, being a 747, we get to park further ahead. We are a little crooked. We'll take it. Anyway, so back into the cockpit. Terrain radar off. Weather radar off. Okay, let's go to status. Hang on a second. They want us to reset. We're 258, so that's good. Good there. Okay. Alrighty, so to secure, we got to set the parking brake first. Parking brake set. Taxi lights are off. Clock reset. From the time we push back was a 5.5 hour trip. En route time 5 hours 15 minutes. Electrical, let's see what we got up on the top here. Okay, APU's on. Put the APU bleed on. Fuel controls to cut off. And they're off. All right. Go ahead and cancel that so it don't bother us. Okay, so it's asking us now the fuel pumps to be turned off. We'll leave those normal two in the middle on. Demands off. Number 4 to auxiliary. Anti-ice was already turned off. Beacon can now be turned off. So all we have are those. All right, folks, we are shut down. Doors open. And we're not securing the aircraft, so that was really good. Turn that off, turn that off. All right, folks, welcome to Ontario, California. You're in the Los Angeles basin here. I want to do one thing, though. Okay, I'm going to have to look at this because reason I went to this view. This is where FedEx usually parks, is right here. That's why there's a FedEx truck here. Over here is an airline called West Air. It's a FedEx feeder, Cessna 208s, and they park here. And then they feed most of the Southwest California area with Cessna 208s, unless that's been canceled. That's always, like I said, it's been over a year since I've been in here, so. But FSX paints it like I know it, and that, like I said, that could be wrong, could be right, could be wrong. Who knows? But anyway, we're in Ontario. Let's come down here and take a look at the Queen as she sits on the spot. Now, again, since it's the default 747 that the Sparks group is using, the only doors that work with this plane are L1, upper L1. I think that's what that's called. The rest of them do not work. They're hoping to find somebody to be able to give them a new fuselage so they can do a couple of things. Open up the nose. Well, this version you don't. And open up the side cargo door. And you can see it drawn in here. Now, what this version is called a BCF, converted freighter. So they're not going to be able to open the nose. Only the side door was added. So, but from really, we are shut down and we are ready to go. Let's take a look. I'm kind of curious with some 333 feet a minute, sim brief recorded. Did anyone put anything in? No guesses, no winners. So, is what it is. Unload and close that. So, folks, we have arrived. I'm just going to do my paperwork here real quick with you online to FedEx. And record my flight, hopefully. The neat thing with FedEx, all you got to do is click start in the beginning and stop at the end. If you end the flight now, okay, let's make sure, because that didn't seem right. Out of curiosity. Oh, it shows us on the ground at least. And home in Ontario. That's always what we want to see. And routes. Perfect. All right, so we are in. Everything looks good on that end. Clear that. All right, folks. Again, a link to the 747 here, just in case you haven't seen it in the chat. This will get you to the 747. Hang on a second. Let me get that out. What I'm going to also do is bring that up. Go through it again real quick with y'all. If you want this aircraft, I'm also going to pull that away. Okay. If you want this aircraft, what you'll do is go to the, hang on a second, I hit the wrong button. There we go. You'll go to the GitHub site. There's two packages, if you will, out there. One is the initial release. This was what was released back in November of 2020. There are issues with that plane. They're known. The developers have been working on them since, just so you know, but you will run into problems with it. And they're not major by any way, but things you won't see. Let me get you back into cockpit. Well, let's go to this one. It's a lot easier. Okay, when you come up here, you're going to see all of this. I don't remember this, I think was working. However, if you went here, click maintenance and sim, only the weight units, I believe, was working with it. And it may not have been to get all of this, and some of this is still not fully working, i.e. pausing at top of descent. It's going to pause it. Whoop. I wasn't supposed to do that. Pausing it on the ground. I got to report that to them so they know. Oop. There we go. So things like that. And then, of course, here's the other maintenance page that I wanted to show you. You can choose freighter, passenger, up through the Pratt Whiskey engine. So you have CF and BW, the Pratt Wits. They're all there. The rolls are on their way. They'll be there. Hopefully, when they do the next release, I believe they're wanting to have them in there. And some of the other things that I'm finding, they hopefully will be able to work on. To me, though, the stuff I find is nitpicky. But the big one being this pause at top of descent, that isn't working. They ask that you, when you do get the plane, now let me back up before I go to there. to get what I'm flying right now. Okay, and this may be one version off of what you can get. But anyway, what you see, what you've seen fly and all, you go to that GitHub site again, and you click where it says code. Come down to download zip. That'll be the most up-to-date version they've transferred into the master files here. And you'll know what's been updated. 3 days ago, they put new PFD textures in. 4 days ago, they fixed in the plugins item number 188, which is bank limit. I don't know if that's fixed or not. I never tried it. Again, bank limits. So, but anyway, and I do apologize for yawning, folks. But anyway, kind of gives you an idea of where they are and what they've fixed. Also, they have a Discord channel you can go to, get caught up, what they've been working on, where they're at. So, if you want the latest and greatest, now the difference really boils down also to one other thing. The bugs that are in the initial release, they know about. Okay. If you download this version from the code, then download zip, the master file. First off, make sure you remove the old one and clean install in the new one. And it's not an install, it's just simple, put it in the aircraft file, or aircraft folder of X-Plane. You may run across bugs they don't know about yet, or they may know about, but they're still working on. Get the point. But everything they know is that was broken with it, or not broken, but needed to be fixed, is in the release. They know that one. This one, you may come across new stuff. So that's the only difference, and hopefully that's like clear as mud. I doubt it, because I'm usually pretty bad at explaining things like that. So hang on a second here. Oh, hang on a second. I'm being dumb here. Where is it? There it is. Okay, so back out to the ramp. And one last look at the chariot that took us from Miami to Ontario. Hope you enjoyed the flight, folks, because I sure did, even though it got really long there for a while. But it's like Zebo. Zebo makes the 737 enjoyable to fly. This is really trying to. There's still some quirks with it that I have that when I'm streaming, I hate to be streaming and have those kind of quirks, but they are what they are. So, but anyway, folks, here we are in Ontario after hang on a second, 5.5 hours in the cockpit. We're on the ground. We're parked. We're chalked. Oop, you know what? That's one thing I did not do. So, menu, ground select, request the chocks. And now we're chalked. I know, little cheesy item, but hey, makes it look good. All right, folks, so hope you enjoyed the stream. Hope you have a great Friday night. Look forward to seeing you on the next stream. If you liked what you saw, click follow. That'll allow you to follow us around to the next destination. You'll get it by email letting you know where we're going. Also, Facebook and here on the Twitch channel and Discord, we have our schedule lined out. Granted, this is the last flight on it for this week. We'll get to work on the one for next week. So for now, folks, thank you again for joining. From us here at Flying with Mike, we thank you for flying with Mike. And again, have a great Friday night. Be safe. We'd love to see you on the next trip. And God bless.